let's start, Scott.
All right. Well, my name is Scott Schmaren, and I am an internationally known hypnotist, speaker, an author, and a coach. I've done some media appearances in the United States. I've appeared on shows like Oprah and the Howard Stern Show, and I've done a bunch of other things. I've created a program which I taught in Porto a couple years ago called the Quatric Formula for Success. And we want to spend some time talking about things you can do, whether you're in the United States, Portugal, wherever you are in the world right now. It seems like most of us are in the same boat. We are living in much more confined lifestyles, and a lot of people, their daily routines and how they work have all been disrupted, and it's causing them stress, anxiety, fear. And hopefully we can talk about some of those things today and solutions for those things.
Okay, so most of people already know me. My name is Miguel Beirão. I'm not well known as Scott, but in the last couple of years, 10 years, I'm doing some coaching, business coaching, life coaching, and the use of NLP. So let's start, Scott, with you. This is your moment here, at least in Portugal, for the second time. This time online, okay?
Right.
So what you can share with us that we can use on our lives nowadays in the daily basis, let's say, so that we can improve some things.
Okay. Well, I think first it's important to understand what's happening with everybody and why people are feeling more stress, anxiety, and fear. Is we are all creatures of habits and rituals. Even if we don't think we have them, and even if those habits and rituals are not good, we have these rituals and they keep us focused, organized, and they're our norms. So now the world has changed. For many people, they're not going to work or they're confined to their homes, and it creates a disturbance. So like for me, my daily routine, my important routines, besides working on this, is I go to the gym every day, and now my gym is closed. So it creates an uneasy, unnatural feeling. It's why you see when these things first happen is everybody runs to the store and they start hoarding stuff, toilet paper, food. Their routines have been disrupted. They're feeling stress and anxiety, and they're trying to gather things to make them feel comfortable again. So understanding that allows us to start to move past that, and we need to establish new routines or adapt the routines that we have. So for example, I've been going to the same gym for a long time, for many years now, okay? I can't go to that gym, so I have two choices. I can give up my routine, which is going to cause me more stress and anxiety, or I have the option of changing my routine and adapting my routine so I can still fulfill that need of normalcy inside of myself, but just do it a different way. I always say to people, it's important to be diligent in doing the routines that you have that are productive for you. However, you need to be flexible in how you do them. And if you can do that, you can get through just about any situation. So I hope that makes some sense.
Yes.
So adapting your routines and finding new routines. You know, a lot of people now, I don't know how the real estate business is. I know you said there's a lot of real estate people on this line. In the United States, in the areas that I'm in, real estate agents are essentially out of business because they really can't show property. They can do it virtually, but they can't show properties and they can't show rental properties. So if you have more time at home spending with yourself, now is the perfect time to work on making yourself a better version of you. Reading more, there's so many, like even Miguel has a coaching program in Portugal. There's so many online programs now that you can do to make this better, stronger, and doing things and being productive is a wonderful way of relieving stress and anxiety. So start learning new things, start reading, start cultivating the things. Now is the perfect time. You all say we had all these wonderful things we wanted to do and we never had time to do them. Now you've got time to do them. So why not go do them now? Make sense?
Yes, a lot of sense.
So what do you have to say about all this, Miguel?
We are talking sometimes, and we are sharing some ideas together. And I'm doing this here in Portugal. So I create a program where people can show up, and we are sharing some ideas. We are sharing some positive ideas, how to control our emotions. And yesterday, for example, we were talking about a little bit about beliefs and how can we change and transform bad belief in a good way to have a better habit and doing different things to get the result that we need.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. One of the things too is I think it's important for people to acknowledge their fears. A lot of people, we're in a time now, everything is unknown. There's no history of something like this happening at this level around the world that it's happening. So there's an unknown sense of fear. And one of the things that people try to do is they try to ignore their fears. They think their fears are bad. And so what happens is when you ignore your fear, you feed energy into it. If I push against you, you're going to push back. And if you push against your fears, they're going to push back against you, and they become worse, and they become monsters. So I think it's important that everybody acknowledges their fear. It's okay. And once you acknowledge it, it becomes easier to step past it, because our fear is only us thinking about what could possibly happen. It's not what's happening now. Is we're playing out these dreams and fantasies inside of our heads of, oh my God, this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. And we just keep making it worse and worse, like we're watching a very bad horror movie. And so one of the things I've learned over the years, and I do this with my clients, is take a piece of paper and write out what you're afraid of. Write out what's making you angry, and write it out in great detail. Write it out so you get all the anger and all the fear and all the things that are scaring you and causing you stress and anxiety. Write it out on a piece of paper. And what you'll find is it'll make you feel better. Literally, you're...
1 minute, translate a little bit, because we already have a lot of content and I'm not translating. So,
okay.
Scott estava a dizer que, portanto, uma das questões é nós mantermos os hábitos, mas mantermos os hábitos provavelmente de uma forma diferente. Ele inclusivamente falou que ia ao ginásio, mas que agora o ginásio está fechado e, portanto, tem que criar um novo hábito. E realmente é importante nós, como seres de hábitos, transformarmos e procurarmos realmente novas formas de continuar a executar uma necessidade que nós temos, ok? Também começou agora a falar de medos, o que é isto dos medos, e como nós podemos, de certa maneira, transpor os nossos medos, e ele começou a dizer, então, se nós temos um medo, não é? E se nós começarmos com este medo a fazer um grande medo, a criar um grande bicho na nossa cabeça, digamos assim, o que é que vai acontecer? Este medo vai se jogar contra nós, portanto nós estamos a lutar com uma coisa cada vez maior. E portanto muitas das vezes, se calhar, é escrever o medo, ok? E ele agora vai dar uma técnica muito interessante, nós como podemos transformar este medo já a seguir. So Scott, you can continue and show us how can we deal with these fears that can appear on our minds.
Okay, so take a piece of paper and write out your fears and your anger and your stress, those things that are causing anxiety, and write them out in great detail. And don't be bashful. If you're really angry, write it out that you're really angry. Write it out. Think of it as you're writing a great novel. So write it out in as much detail and in as much poignant vim and anger as you would. Write it out. Don't hold back. And what you'll find is you'll feel better. And it's a powerful tool. It's a great metaphor, because what are you doing? You're taking something inside of you, you're moving it out of you, putting it on a piece of paper. And then once you do that, go ahead and we're going to create another metaphor, which is destroy it. you want to destroy what you have on that piece of paper. And it's a powerful metaphor for removing it from your life. And one of the most powerful metaphors for destroying something is to burn it. We did this in the class that I had there when I taught. Is everybody did the exercise in class, and then we lit a fire and everybody burned what they had. And what you'll find is it'll give you a sense of relief, and it'll bring you a sense of peace.
Okay, so em português. So, uma técnica que nós temos para lidar com medos é uma técnica que o Scott costuma fazer, que é nós escrevermos o nosso medo num papel, não é? Mas escrevermos com detalhe. E mesmo que se ao escrevermos esse medo ainda nos causar mais medo, não há problema, porque esta metáfora vai fazer com que o medo parece que saia do nosso corpo, ou seja, nós quando estamos a ver aquilo a ser escrito e a lermos aquele nosso medo, aquele nosso maior medo, cheio de detalhes no papel, parece que o medo está a sair de nós. E depois o passo seguinte desta metáfora e deste processo é queimar, portanto, aquela folha de papel. O que é que acontece? O Scott, quando esteve cá em Portugal há 2 anos, fez isso durante o curso com os alunos que estiveram lá e, portanto, nós depois de escrevermos, não é? Se pegarmos fogo àquele pedaço de papel, cuidado para não queimar nada em casa, ok? Não se esqueçam que nós estamos confinados às nossas casas e, portanto, se fizerem isso, façam numa varanda, façam num quintal, façam num sítio com as devidas precauções. Vamos abrir aqui este parêntese. E, portanto, queimem e vejam o papel com o vosso medo a arder. É uma metáfora muito potente, muito transformadora, que permite realmente dar uma sensação de libertação do medo e fazer com que, de uma certa forma, nos livremos desse medo, ok? Scott, it's your time.
Okay. I think there's some people that are not muted on the line, Miguel.
I know. Done.
There we go. I think it's also important for people to have some physical activity. I don't know what the rules are in Portugal right now as far as staying in your home. We're allowed to go out of our house for physical exercise, as long as it's not in large groups or in a densely populated area. And I think it's really important for everybody to go outside to get some air. It's healthy. It's good for you. It's good for you mentally, physically, and spiritually. I look forward. I did my run. So it's 6 hours earlier where I am here. So it's 11:15 in the morning. And I already went out early this morning. I live not far from a river, and I took my run along the river. And besides being good for my body, it's good for my head. Sends out all those wonderful endorphins, and it allows me, as it will you, to be a little bit more calm, a little bit more relaxed, to feel like we did something where we're not just sitting in front of the TV set being scared of everything we see on the news and eating too much.
Ok, so Scott estava a dizer que além desta metáfora, de nós podermos, portanto, queimar os nossos medos, uma das coisas que nós devemos também é ter rotinas para poder fazer pequenos exercícios, não é? Nós sabemos aqui em Portugal que é permitido nós podermos sair dentro das mediações daquilo que são as nossas casas e poder fazer uma pequena caminhada, uma pequena corrida, desde que não seja acompanhado, não é? Para manter a mente sã e em corpo são, porque é importante realmente a mente estar sã, evitarmos estar constantemente sentados, porque nos dá uma sensação de continuarmos a viver e sermos saudáveis. So, Scott, you can continue.
Okay. There's a lot of things that are going on right now. I think one of the other things that's an important thing to do is, a lot of us always say that we don't have enough time to spend with our family, whether it's our children, and now is a good time to do that. Now is a good time to create some great memories, moments, and experiences with our family, whether it's with our spouse, our children, or all those things, and reach out. We're lucky we live in a time now where, while we are physically, socially isolated, we have devices, computers, and phones where we can still connect to the people that we love and care about. Now is a good time to reestablish some relationships, some friendships. Reaching out to people and saying, hey, are you okay? What can I do to help you? is spreading a little bit more kindness, a little bit more love, and a little bit more of you with the people around you. It'll go a long way, because at some point this is going to end, and we're all going to go back out into the world, and we can all go back out in the world feeling like we've just been let out of prison, or we can finish this and walk out of our homes and feel like we are connected to so many people and have opportunities to actually physically meet those people again. We either reconnect with some old ones and meet some new ones, and use this as a catalyst to becoming the next greater version of ourselves and building a better life.
Ok, so, portanto, o Scott disse que temos que aproveitar este tempo e se calhar para, porque não, criar bons momentos e gravarmos na nossa mente bons momentos. Antes desta fase que nós estávamos a passar, provavelmente todos nós dizíamos que não tínhamos tempo para nada, que não tínhamos tempo, por exemplo, para estar com as nossas famílias, para estar com os nossos filhos, para estar com aquelas pessoas que mais amamos. E por que não agora aproveitar este tempo para marcarmos na memória, não é? Marcarmos nas outras pessoas, deixarmos bons momentos para o futuro, porque é uma realidade, isto vai acabar um dia, espera-se que de breve, e portanto temos agora uma oportunidade interessante para restabelecer contactos com pessoas, com vizinhos, com amigos que já não víamos há muito tempo, nem que sejam online, e dessa forma fazer e gravar bons momentos em nós e nos outros. So, you can continue, Scott.
All right, I would say, Miguel, what do you want to add to this? What are your thoughts?
I agree with you. I hope that this will end soon. Like you said in the beginning, we should get this opportunity to do something that can increase or can increase our skills, like reading, doing online trainings. It's the right moment. So instead of being in front of the TV, playing some game on the box, on the PS4 or something like that, probably why not invest some time in ourselves to be a better after this, to be a better version of ourselves. Because when we do this, when we start or restart our lives, we will need all the skills to restart fast. And when the people are prepared, that are self-confident and know what they have to do, it will be much easier to restart. Okay.
I think that's important. And also, everybody wants to do big things. And they want to, they're going to jump in and I'm going to read for 2 hours a day, or I'm going to do a 4-hour online training, or just do small things. Small things done over a long period of time equal big changes. So it's more about doing these things consistently and trying to do them on a daily basis in smaller chunks than trying to do a big chunk. Like, if you're not used to reading, so spend 15 or 20 minutes every day reading. And once you spend 15 or 20 minutes a day reading consistently, you're doing it 5, 6, 7 days a week, add another 5 minutes to it. Add another 5 minutes to it. Do simple things. If you're not used to exercising and you're going to start exercising, don't go out there and run for an hour, because you're probably going to have a heart attack and die. Go out there and go for a long walk. Go for a short run. Take some time when you're walking to appreciate the beauty of the nature you're seeing. You guys live in a very beautiful country. I love it there. Appreciate what you have and all that's around you. And so coming from a place of kindness and love and appreciation is powerful. It'll change your perspective. You will get what you focus on. If you focus on everything that's bad in the world right now, you're going to get a lot of that. If you focus on what's good, you're going to see more good, and you're going to find more good, and people will respond to you that way also.
Okay, 1 minute now to translate a little bit. So Scott was saying that we should. Scott estava a dizer, portanto, que devemos fazer e se calhar a melhor atitude, em vez de passarmos muito tempo, por exemplo, a ler e depois não continuar, provavelmente em vez disso, porque não fazer em períodos de tempo mais curtos. Portanto, quando nós não estamos habituados a fazer, portanto, se uma pessoa não estiver, por exemplo, habituada a ler, se calhar se ler muito durante o dia, no outro dia já não lhe apetece ler. Provavelmente se nós fizermos isso por pequenos períodos de tempo, 15 minutos, meia hora, mas se fizermos ao longo de muito tempo, nós vamos ter o mesmo benefício e vamos criar novos hábitos. Da mesma maneira que se alguém agora neste momento, por exemplo, está a pensar em fazer exercício, não é? E se começar a fazer logo, que já está parado há muito tempo, e começar a fazer agora 1 hora de exercício, provavelmente amanhã vai-lhe doer o corpo todo. Portanto, por que não começarmos aos bocadinhos, mas fazermos de uma forma consistente, porque fazendo de uma forma consistente no longo prazo vai nos trazer muitos mais resultados. So, it's your time.
Okay. It looks like somebody popped up a question.
Yes, let's see what we have here. E Miguel tinha uma questão que queria buscar. Devo andar como devo falar uma pessoa 80. So I have here, I have translated, continuar abrindo. Ok. Viva Miguel, tenho uma questão que gostaria de colocar ao Scott, como devo falar com uma pessoa? Ok, que deve estar em casa e não nos ouve. So we have here a question. It's about habits. So one person put here a question that is to Scott. How I can speak with a person with 80 years old, diabetic, that doesn't listen us as continue to go to working every day, and this is dangerous. How can we speak with old people and change their habits? So what can we do?
One,
Scott,
you might not, most likely you're not going to change their habits. Okay. And, you know, we see people and we want people to do things based on our value and belief system. They're very set in their ways. If it's somebody is dear to you and you love them, you can simply tell them how much you love them and care about them, and you don't want to see anything happen to them. But the reality is, it's really not your place to change them, because you're probably not going to. You can only express your love and concern for them, but they're going to do what they want to do. And I think it's more important for us, even though we don't agree with them, and yes, what they might be doing is dangerous, we have to accept them for what they are. Because if you don't accept them and you're trying to push your values and beliefs on them, you're going to push them away. Accept them, acknowledge them, tell them how much you love and care about them. And then if they do, great. And if they don't, then you've just got to allow it to be, and you have to let it go. Because you may not be able to change them, and their beliefs may be different than yours, and you have to accept that that's okay.
Okay, let me translate now. So, Scott.
Excuse me 1 second, Miguel. I'll be
yes?
right back. I'm going to get something my throat's a little dry. I'm going to get something
okay,
right back.
Okay. So, meanwhile, I will translate. So, o Scott estava a dizer que nestes casos é muito difícil nós mudarmos alguém com pessoas, portanto, mais velhas, com hábitos muito enraizados e baseados em coisas que acreditam, portanto, nos valores. É extremamente importante porque são pilares e, portanto, se calhar a melhor forma de combater e de ajudar estas pessoas, a primeira é dizer que amamos, ou seja, dizer que realmente essas pessoas são importantes para a nossa vida e que gostamos dela e, por isso mesmo, estamos preocupados com a situação. A segunda perspectiva é aceitarmos que realmente essas pessoas têm essas necessidades porque veem a vida dessa forma, em vez de lutarmos contra. Ou seja, nós quando estamos a lutar contra, né, chocamos e o que fazemos é ampliamos a situação e afastamos cada vez mais de nós as pessoas. Portanto, por que não fazer ao contrário e fazer de uma forma inversa, que é dizer que gostamos das pessoas, que estamos preocupados, que amamos as pessoas, explicar essa razão e talvez dessa forma as pessoas compreendam também porque é que nós agimos dessa forma e possamos ajudar essas pessoas mais velhas que têm um conjunto de hábitos muito enraizados a poderem, de certa forma, nos darem ouvidos.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
I think I have a question I want to pose to everybody. What's important to you right now during this time? What do you need, and what can I tell you that would help you? What do you want to know? I'd like to hear your questions.
Portanto, caso nós temos, portanto, a aplicação webinar tem ali um logotipo que diz que é em A para fazer perguntas, portanto, se alguém quiser fazer alguma questão, aqui ao Scout pode colocá-la ali e nós vamos dando essa resposta.
Oh, there's another question.
Ok, sim, temos aqui. Então, Magda is making a question. Magda, you can make the question live, so you can activate your microphone and put the question. It's better.
Okay.
I know that you speak in English, so no problem.
More or less, I will try. It's okay. Can I go on?
Yes,
I hear you.
Okay, this is a question, it's not a question, it's some ideas I want to hear from you, both Miguel and Scott. What are your views about now we are seeing, now we have the coronavirus that is bad for our health now, but at the same time we can see a better climate, how you say, a better, so the...
Not so many pollution.
I didn't get the back end of that.
Magda, we lost you. So, we have here another question. No. Who wants to put a question to Scott? Okay, so.
Well, I think what's important for people to understand too is what's happening to us is out of our control. And sometimes we feel afraid and stressed out and fearful when there are things that are out of our control and we want to try and control them. So you've got to let go of the things that are out of your control, and then the things that are in your control, those are the things you work on. Can't change what's happening around the world right now. You can change your reaction to them, but you can't change what's happening physically in the world. It's not in your control. And worrying about it is a complete and total waste of energy and time.
So Pedro Abrantes wants to make a question, I think, because he put the hands on the air. So Pedro.
Great.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to ask Scott what we can do, not we, but you as a known person and other ones that have some visibility around the world. What can we say to some politicians like Trump, for instance, to put them some sense in their heads, or like the Brazilian president, Donald Trump, and so on, about this era that we are living in with the coronavirus, because they say lots of dumb stuff that we all hear around the world. what can you say as a person that is known, and the other ones, so that we can put some common sense in their heads? Is there any magic formula?
No, you know what? I don't know if we can put any common sense in their head. Fortunately, and I'm only going to speak for our country, is much of the wacky things that our president has said. One of the things that's happening, though, he has surrounded himself with really very, very good people. And you see that little doctor with the glasses on, Dr. Fauci, very, very smart man. He's been around for a very long time about infectious diseases. And he seems to be able, at least from my perspective in our country, has the president's ear. And even though the president may say something totally off base, like for example, last week the president said he wanted to have our country up and running by Easter, which everybody knew was not possible. And the next day the president backed off on that. So I will give him some credit for surrounding himself with good people. I mean, but there are some people around this world. It was at the president of Belarus is not even acknowledging this as an issue. He's telling people to go to saunas and drink a lot of vodka. So I don't know if I really have an answer for that. You know, if a leader is truly a leader of their people, they will listen to what the people have to say. And if the people are united in their message, they have a better chance of that person, regardless of what country it is, listening to their message. So, you know, in most of the countries, these people are elected. So if a majority of the people are unified together in their message, they might want to listen to them, especially if they're going to have to go up for a re-election again. That's important to them. So use your leverage and the power of your vote to put some leverage on your leaders, if that's possible.
Okay, thank you.
So do we have more questions? I don't know if Magda wants to try again to put the question, but she was talking about the climate change. So this pandemic situation is good for the climatic change.
Well, you're seeing that. You're seeing that now. Look in Italy, is in Venice, is all of a sudden all the canals have cleared up and they're cleared. You can see the fish, and the skies are clearing in China. Yeah, it's really, if you think about it, there's a very important secondary message we're getting from all this is, as we start to withdraw from the world becomes a little bit cleaner and a little bit healthier and heals a little bit. Yeah, that's a pretty powerful thing. I hope we're all seeing that.
So Scott, someone is asking here about your program, Quatric Formula. Do you want to speak a little bit about what
Sure.
you can do with that?
Sure. So my program is the Quatric Formula for Success. And it came about is over the years of working on myself. I used to be very, very heavy. I spent most of my life being morbidly obese. I weighed 180 pounds, I weighed 360 pounds, which is, what is that?
180 kilos, I think.
So it's a little bit less than 100, like 175 kilos.
So
I was very big.
So Scott tinha 175 quilos, okay?
And then I lost half of my weight. So I lost about 80 kilos. And I've kept it off for a long time. And also through that experience and the experience of working with my clients, I noticed that I had a specific formula that I use. And it involves 4 things. I call them the 4 R's. And these are the keys to making permanent and lasting change. They are relax, release, reprogram, reinforce. So the first one is relax. All permanent change takes place not consciously, but back here in your subconscious mind. That's how I use hypnosis and NLP to make those changes. But you have to be able to access that subconscious part of your mind. And the easiest way to do that is learning how to relax. When you relax, you slow down and you enter, think about it, when you're creative, you're in a very relaxed state of mind. You have access then to all your skills, your resources, your imagination, all the really good things about you. And once you learn how to do that, Then it's easy to move into the next step, which is the second R, which is to release. All of us, we carry around junk and garbage and crap from our past, from the day we were born to the present moment. Whether it was something traumatic that happened in our childhood or just the environment we grew up in, is we have these negative filters that prevent us from making change, or when we start to make change, we seem to wander back to where we were before. And you have to get rid of those things. You have to clear those things out, because if you don't, you're always going to make that cycle of forward, backwards, forwards, backwards. And then once we get rid of that baggage, that old stuff from the past, you move into the third R, which is to reprogram, which is a lot of fun. Our subconscious mind does not distinguish real and not real. It doesn't know the difference. And it doesn't distinguish time. Past, present, and future all exist at the same time. So we can use that, and I run my clients through an exercise where they create this compelling future as if it's already happening now, of exactly how they want their life to be. And then we install it in their subconscious mind using hypnosis. And then once you do that, your mind starts to drive towards that. And then we move into the last R, which is to reinforce. If you go to the gym and you work out and you get in really good shape, what do? You keep going. Same thing for your mind. So we establish a simple daily routine that keeps driving your mind towards what you want, reinforcing the changes you've already made and helping you make more changes. So that's really it. It's pretty simple. And that's how I work with my clients. And that's the process of the Quatric Formula for success.
Okay, thank you, Scott, to share with us your formula. I already did this program with him and Paul Pinto, that is here too. It was an amazing program that we did 2 years ago, and I hope that we can do it this year here in Portugal after this.
I'm ready. We were going to do it in we were going to do it in May, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, not in May, not May this year. But I think in September can be a good time. Let's see, September, October. Let's see what's happening. So I don't know if someone wants to put a question to Scott. Okay. Nope, no question. So, just a moment.
There was something on the chat.
Yes, on the chat I'm trying to follow. Ao contrário das pessoas agora sinto-me bem. Está a parar. A pressão poderia produzir. Thank you, Magna, deixa eu ouvir. Ok, não, nova mensagem. Okay, no, okay. No, nothing more. So, Scott, you spoke about fears. Okay, it's a good and anxiety. No, I don't. This word in English for me is difficult. Anxiety. No, anxiety. No. Anxiety. Yes, anxiety. Yeah. Thank you, Ines. Anxiety. So, can you give some advice? How can we overcome this type of mental state?
So everything is controlled by your breath. Okay, think about when you do things. When you are in a relaxed, creative state, maybe at work or you're doing something creative, notice how you breathe. How do you breathe? You breathe slow and you breathe deep. And it's a rhythm. When you're nervous or afraid or you have anxiety, you breathe very quickly and you breathe high from your chest. So, if you are experiencing anxiety, notice your breathing. If you change the way you breathe, you change the way you feel. The physiology of your body changes your mental attitude. That you learn that in NLP. So if you're really nervous and you're anxious and you're afraid and you're breathing high up here, become aware of your breath and then take a slow, deep breath and breathe low from your stomach. So you push out your stomach so you look like a Buddha. And then exhale. focusing your attention on your breath. And then do that 4 or 5 times really slow, and you'll begin to notice your mind begins to slow down. A long time ago, I want to say in the late 60s, early 70s, there was a Harvard medical professor. His name was Dr. Herbert Benson. And he did a study on breathing and meditation. The book is still published. It's called The Relaxation Response, which is what he called the meditative state. And what he noticed is if you breathe slow and deeply for 4 or 5 breaths, your mind begins to slow down, your heart begins to slow down, your respiration, everything starts to slow down, and you start to relax. And when you start to relax, you gain greater control, and the uneasy feeling, because think about it, when you have anxiety, when you're anxious, you get that queasy feeling in your stomach. You don't feel good. And so you start to slow everything down, and you start to feel better. Your breath controls everything. The other thing you do if you're really anxious, go outside and go for a walk for 10, 15 minutes. You'll burn off some of the adrenaline and cortisol that your body's producing because it's in fight or flight when you're anxious. Go do something physical. If you were in the wild and you were a wild animal, that's what wild animals do. They have an adrenaline rush and a cortisol rush. They expend the energy and then they relax. So do something different than what you're doing now. You know, watching TV can cause a lot of anxiety right now because we're getting a lot of doom and gloom. So change what you're doing. And all this really boils down to really one thing, is becoming awake and aware of yourself. You have to begin to notice yourself. When you're anxious, how are you? When you're relaxed, how are you? You have to notice those things. And when you begin to notice those things, you have the ability to change. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Good.
So we have more 10 minutes. Any question for Scott? Okay, no questions. Okay.
If anybody here wants to get a hold of me, they have questions or they want to know something, give them my information. I'd be happy to answer any of their questions. They can email me or they can message me on Facebook or however they want to get a hold of me.
Okay. Pedro is putting the hand on the air, so probably he wants to put another question. Do you want, Pedro?
Yeah, thank you. How can hypnosis help the world? How can hypnosis, I think, on a short term, because at the end of this period, we are all become a different person, but how can hypnosis help us generally?
I think that's a good question. Hypnosis gives us the ability to change quickly. It allows us to access the subconscious mind. By the way, that can be for negative things right now. A lot of the stuff we see on TV is a form of hypnosis that's really creating this fear. So I think it's important for us to use hypnosis to maintain our sanity, to maintain how we want to be and start focusing on what we want. You know, we hear about prisoners of war where they learn how to play the piano with no piano because they visualize themselves playing the piano or learning how to play a guitar. And then when they got out of that, when the war ended and they were out, they were no longer prisoners, they were able to physically play. That's a hypnotic state. Fear is a hypnotic state. It's not real, but it's creating real physical feelings inside of us. So why don't we use those things for something good? So hypnosis can allow us to gain control of our emotions and our feelings. It gives us the ability to change our habits. It begins to give us the ability to strive towards what we want. You know, we've got all this time sitting at home right now. If you can work on creating the life you want, how you want it to be, every area of your life, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, relationships, family, career, how much money you make, even where you live. And really now spend that time, I say spend time, 15, 20 minutes a day, which is what my clients do. They spend about 20 minutes a day working on the things I gave them and burning it into your head now. And when the opportunity comes for us, whenever that day is on the calendar, we can walk out the door of our house and resume our lives. We are going to be in a much better place by using the power of hypnosis and the power of our minds to already change our reality. Now we can go out in the world and just go do it because it'll make sense to us.
So, traduzindo aqui, porque esqueci-me da parte da tradução, o Pedro fez a pergunta como é que a hipnose pode ajudar o mundo, não é? E portanto o Scott estava a dizer que a hipnose pode nos provocar que realmente mudar hábitos, mudar e criar novos hábitos, criar uma nova forma de pensar. É uma forma fácil de nós podermos rapidamente poder mudar, porque quando se faz hipnose, nosso digamos, consciente está desligado e vai diretamente ao subconsciente, fazendo com que realmente seja mais rápido esta troca de hábitos. E, portanto, podemos criar a vida que nós queremos mentalmente, quanto é que queremos ganhar, o que é que queremos fazer, onde é que queremos viver, que tipo de vida, que tipo de estilo de vida nós queremos. E, portanto, tudo isso é primeiro criado na nossa mente e depois nós executamos e começamos a criar essas ideias, ok? So, Scott, we have 5 minutes. Do you want to do something special for all the people that are here?
I'm trying to think what I could do in 5 minutes. And I don't know how good everybody's English is. Okay, so I'm going to give you an exercise and you can translate the exercise, okay?
Okay.
So you're going to do this 3 times a day, okay? For 5 minutes, okay? And it's learning how to control your breath. Like I said, if you can control your breath, you can control your emotions. So what I want you to do is 3 times a day is set the timer on your phone for 5 minutes. Then close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, count to 5. And as you're breathing in, focus on your breath going through your nose, down into your lungs. And if you can't breathe through your nose, your mouth is okay. So you're breathing in, focusing your breath going on your in through your nose and down into your lungs, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then exhale through your mouth the opposite way, focusing your attention on your breath leaving your lungs and going out through your mouth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do that for 5 minutes, 3 times a day. And then when you get comfortable with it, then go to 6, 7. And the ultimate goal is to get up to the count of 10. And then when you can do 10, so you're breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then when you can do that, add a minute. So the ultimate goal will be able to do this to the count of 10 for 10 minutes, 3 times a day. Let's start with 5. Okay, and what you'll do is you can control your breath. You control how you feel. Okay,
let me translate a little bit. So, o Scott estava a dar uma dica porque nós podemos fazer 3 vezes por dia e só demora 5 minutos por cada vez, portanto não temos desculpa para não fazer, ok? E portanto é um exercício de respiração. E, portanto, o que ele aconselha é pegarmos no telemóvel, pormos um temporizador de 5 minutos e respirar durante 5 minutos, mas respirar de uma forma controlada. Então, o que é que nós devemos fazer? Prestar atenção à nossa respiração, enquanto nós estamos a inspirar, ok? Prestamos atenção do ar a passar nas nossas narinas, nas nossas gargantas e contar até 5. Portanto, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, enquanto estamos a inspirar. E depois deixamos expirar através da boca de uma forma muito lenta. E, portanto, ir fazendo isto até completar os 5 minutos. Fazê-los 3 vezes por dia. Quando começarem a sentir a vontade, que têm a capacidade de contar mais que 5, comecem a contar, passado algum tempo, até 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, até poderem contar até 10 enquanto inspiram. Portanto, eu estou a inspirar e 1, 2, 3, e continuo a inspirar mentalmente, a contar, e faço uma inspiração que demora uma contagem de 10. Quando se sentirem confortáveis com essa situação, podem adicionar 1 minuto ao vosso tempo, e em vez de 5 passam a ser 6 minutos. Portanto, fazer isto 3 vezes por dia, 5 minutos, portanto é um investimento na vossa vida de 15 minutos que pode trazer grandes frutos, porque a respiração, nós sabemos que quando conseguimos controlar a respiração, nós também controlamos a nossa ansiedade, os nossos medos, e assumimos controle sobre as nossas emoções. Scott, it's your turn.
It's my turn. Okay.
I already translated.
So great. So I think that's probably enough. We could probably do this again. I don't want to give everybody too much. Again, do simple things on a daily basis and everything will be better.
Okay. So, para terminar, o Scott disse para nós fazermos coisas simples todos os dias, e no longo prazo terá impactos grandes.
Good. Okay.
So thank you, Scott, to be with us, to share with us some ideas. How can we control our emotions and to be more positive? I want to thank you, all of you, to be here present during this hour, to learn to be better, and try to apply all of these tips that Scott shared with us. So, em português, obrigado a todos por terem estado aqui e partilharem connosco estes momentos, e, acima de tudo, façam um bocadinho todos os dias, porque ao fazermos um bocadinho todos os dias, pequenas atitudes todos os dias, no longo prazo, terá impactos muito grandes na nossa vida.
Excellent. Good.
Okay, Scott, thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you spending time with us.
Okay. So, thank you all. Obrigado a todos, e vemo-nos na próxima semana.